Yeah, whatever. So I don't do how-to videos, but in this case, since there was no other video on YouTube, I thought I would make kind of an exception. There's good reasons I don't do how-to videos, but we've got a 2002 Cadillac Seville STS with the North Star engine, 4.6 liter V8, and this is my dad's car. Needed to replace the Upstream O2 socket. And this has been a real process because there's very limited access back there where the Upstream O2 socket is. So I'll give you a little bit more of a close-up shot here. So here's some of the tools I used. I'll leave links for these down in the description, but I got a 18-inch locking extension, a 7/8 O2 sensor socket, and then I used another shorter handled ratchet for part of it, but for part of it I used this 18-inch long TEKTON 3/8 drive 90-tooth ratchet. Used a thread chaser. That one's by Lang. That one's really important because depending on the age of your vehicle, you probably are going to have to chase the threads. This is an Oregon car. This car's been in Oregon for its entire life, so there aren't a lot of corrosion issues, but the car's got 136,000 miles on it, and I had to chase the threads in order to get the new socket in there. There's the box for the oxygen sensor itself. You see the part number there. It's Denso 234-4650. That box is an empty cardboard box. I won't review that. Somebody else on YouTube does that, and we'll let him keep doing it. You see I've got my lights here though, my cheap Amazon light right up here, and then I got my other cheap Amazon light down in there. Let me get a shot here. If I don't have to cut the video, I don't want to cut it. I'll give you a straight down shot. You can see in there, hopefully, you can just see the over down in here where hopefully you can see the top of the wire for the O2 sensor. It's really buried down in there, but here's the plug for it right here, and it snaps into this bracket here. So you unplug it here, undo it from the bracket, and then snake your way down in here with the oxygen sensor wrench on the locking extension. Now you want a locking extension because otherwise you're probably going to drop that down in there. It's such tight access. You can snake it down in there. It's best to do this from the top. If you have a lift, you could probably do it from below, but you'd have to take part of the exhaust off the exhaust manifold, and it would be, well, a lot more work. I think the book time on this is like an hour, which after looking at the book time on it, I understand. Once I determined in my mind that I was just going to come at it from the top, that was the easiest. But you just pull it out of there, and you do. Room is limited enough that where you have to use this style of oxygen sensor socket, not the offset wrench style. There's just not enough room for that. So you unclip it, you get the thing out of there. It's best actually to run the car for probably 20 minutes. If you can spray some penetrating oil down in there. I managed to get some PB Blaster, ran the car for 20 minutes, and after I went at it with that socket, that was my second try at it. Tried like a month ago and thought I was going to go back to the drawing board. So second try though, it only took me about 3 or 4 minutes to get it out of there. You can see though on this thread chaser, it's got a 3/8 in there. Even with a locking extension, probably good to duct tape it on the end there, and then you got to get it just really good and lined up in the space there, and get it going straight up and down. Thread it in by hand or with a short ratchet, and use anti-seize on there like I've got on there, and it worked. We got it in there. If you need to thread the new oxygen sensor in there, there's actually a trick where you can do where you can put some duct tape, kind of fold it over and put it on the inside of the socket, and then stick the O2 sensor in there, and it'll hold it in place. Just make sure you're completely perpendicular. You don't want to cross thread it. Ask me how I know. So anyway, hopefully this helps. I know there are no other videos. I would have videoed it at the time, but like I said, it was a multi-step process once I figured out how to go about it, it wasn't terribly difficult. It was a little bit nerve-wracking chasing the threads, but hopefully this helps. Links down in the description for all of the tools I used. Amazon links. Helps me out, doesn't cost you anything extra. All right, ta-ta for now.